Ripple and SBI Holdings have just confirmed that they are launching Ripple USD, or RL USD, in Japan, with distribution led by SBI VC Trade. The stablecoin is expected to go live in the first quarter of 2026, but the announcement already carries major implications for Japan's digital asset market. Let's break this down step by step. First, the key fact. Ripple and SBI signed a memorandum of understanding to introduce RL USD into Japan's stablecoin ecosystem. Distribution will be handled by SBI VC Trade, which is licensed as an electronic payment instruments exchange service provider. This is important because Japan only recently introduced a clear regulatory framework for stablecoins, and any issuer must work with a registered service provider to enter the market. Ripple describes RL USD as a stablecoin designed for institutional use. According to the company, it is backed one-to-one by US dollar deposits, short-term government bonds, and cash equivalents. To further boost trust, Ripple says that independent third-party firms conduct monthly attestations to confirm that reserves match circulating supply. The company claims this makes RL USD more transparent and reliable than many other stablecoins currently in the market. Now, let's consider the timeline. The companies say RL USD will launch in Japan in early 2026. That means there is more than a year left for regulatory clearance, technical integration, and building confidence among investors and institutions. This delay is not necessarily a weakness. It could be seen as Ripple and SBI taking a cautious, structured approach, which might be critical given how strict Japanese regulators have been in the past. On the strategic side, both Ripple and SBI executives are framing this move as part of a broader push to modernize financial infrastructure in Japan. Tomohiko Kondo, CEO of SBI VC Trade, said, RL USD will provide Japanese users with more stablecoin choices while increasing trust and usability. His statement reflects Japan's cautious but growing openness to stablecoins, especially ones that can pass regulatory scrutiny. From Ripple's side, Jack McDonald, the senior vice president of stablecoins, stated that RL USD aims to become an industry benchmark. He emphasized that the token is meant to act as a reliable bridge between traditional banking systems and decentralized finance. This positioning is critical because stablecoins are not just tools for trading. They are increasingly becoming the foundation for cross-border payments, settlements, and financial innovation. Ripple wants RL USD to stand out as more than just another dollar-backed coin. The timing here is also interesting. Just days before this announcement, Japanese regulators approved the country's first yen-denominated stablecoin. This signals a broader shift. Japan is no longer just cautiously observing stablecoins. It is beginning to actively integrate them into its financial system. Ripple and SBI clearly want to seize that momentum and establish RL USD as a trusted US dollar option within Japan's regulated market. There's also the long history between Ripple and SBI to consider. These two companies have been partners for years, pushing blockchain adoption across Asia. Unlike newer entrants trying to break into the Japanese market, Ripple and SBI already have a deep relationship and credibility. That legacy might give them a stronger chance of success, especially when regulators and investors want stability over hype. But there are still critical questions. First, how will RL USD compete against other stablecoins, especially global leaders like Tether's USDT and Circle's USDC? Both are already dominant, and while neither is native to Japan's market, they have massive liquidity worldwide. Ripple's argument is that RL USD's institutional focus, combined with strict compliance and transparency, can carve out a unique position. But the challenge is real. Building adoption takes more than strong backing. It takes demand, liquidity, and integration with exchanges and payment systems. Second, what does this mean for XRP itself? Ripple continues to push XRP as a bridge asset for cross-border payments. Yet the company is now also investing heavily in RL USD. Some of the community may wonder whether this signals a shift in Ripple's long-term strategy. Is RL USD meant to complement XRP, or could it eventually compete with it as a preferred settlement asset? Ripple has not given a clear answer, but the overlap between these two products will likely spark debate in the months ahead. Finally, Japan's regulatory stance is both an opportunity and a risk. On one hand, Japan's approval of stablecoins signals growing acceptance. On the other hand, strict oversight could also limit flexibility for issuers. Ripple and SBI will have to navigate this carefully to avoid setbacks or delays. In conclusion, The confirmed launch of RL USD in Japan is not just another product announcement. It is a strategic bet by Ripple and SBI to align themselves with one of the world's most carefully regulated stablecoin markets. If successful, RL USD could become a new benchmark for stability and transparency in the industry. But it also faces stiff competition, regulatory hurdles, and questions about its role in Ripple's broader strategy. The next year will reveal whether RL USD can live up to the promises made by Tomohiko Kondo and Jack McDonald. For now, what is clear is that Ripple and SBI are not just watching the stablecoin revolution. They're actively trying to shape it, starting with Japan.